Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this is going to be all about, as you could tell from the title, my Hoenn Pokemon team. Yes, so I have been a big fan of Pokemon for a long time. I play all the games, I collect a lot of things. You see my teddy ursa there, you saw my Torchic in the very beginning, more on that at 10. I have been obsessed with Pokemon since it basically first came out. I have the Pokemon palettes here from Colourpop. I have cards that I carry in my drag bag. I have so much. So to even begin on how long I've loved Pokemon or how much I've been like a part of that community or how long, that's going to be a whole nother story for another day. That's going to have to, I'm going to have to break that down. We're going to have to give you a little bit of lore and a little bit of backstory. But no, today I'm not doing all of that. I'm only jumping right into the region. I only chose to do Hoenn first, mostly because I'm going to be showing you the Pokemon through cards. And I have all of these together right now. I don't have all my other ones together. Still kind of working on collecting like a couple more pieces for that, but in due time, if you guys like this, or if anyone honestly enjoys this, please let me know, because this is probably going to be a little niche, but it's here for the girls who girl, okay? So diving right in, the Hoenn region, the third installment. One of my favorites as far as like region credibility. I mean, I really like the shape and design of the region. I like a lot of the Pokemon. I like a lot of the gym trainers. The legendaries are sick. I don't always think that everything is sick, but I do think this one's great. It's not my favorite region just because I'm not ever like gravitated towards it, but obviously when Ruby came out, which is my birthstone, I had to have it, and then from there my love grew. So Torchic, of course, is my starter. I've had this Torchic plush since probably like Hoenn came out, to be honest. That thing is ancient, but she's gonna lay right here with my cats. Miss Torchic, let's talk about her. This is her card. Okay. I am not a huge fan of Mudkip, Mudkip's line, Mega Mudkip. Honestly, most of the Mudkip in Energy, Mega Mudkip, Mega Swampert, most of that line I don't love. I do like Trico's line quite a bit, including his Mega, but to me, you just can't beat Torchic. I mean, cute design, evolves into Combuskin. Hello. Combuskin. So, great middle stage. I think Grovile's great. You know how I feel about the Swampert line. I already told you that. Marshtomp, like, please, don't do that. Don't do that to me. When we get to the end, we get Blaziken. I mean, come on. A fighting chicken, baby. A rowdy rooster. Get into it. Get so into it. Love the Mega. Love the regular form. Combuskin to me is just that. It's just that girl. I feel like when you have starters and you think, okay, one's probably going to be like slightly humanoid design, I kind of usually go with that. I don't know why, but this one just so much different to me than Swampert, than Sceptile, than the other lines. And honestly, I think this is the best fire type you can take in the region. That might be a hot take. I know y'all coming out with the camel reps, but my Blaziken, don't. I will be going in order of capture. I did kind of put these in order that way. Feel free to call me out if I'm wrong, though. I travel north, of course. You can hit a small lake / riverside area in the game, and you can find Wingull. I love Wingull. I just think it's really a cute mon, but also I'm from Ohio. I'm actually from a smaller town in Ohio, and we have seagulls. I don't know why they're here. There is a decent sized lake not too far, but I don't know why it's here. I truly don't. But I love them, and so they make me think about Wingull whenever I would go to the mall as a kid. I I would be obsessed with calling animals after the Pokemon, so I'd call them Winkles. This, obviously, Winkle evolves into Pelliper. I don't know why Miss Pelliper has an electric card design, but I had to put this card as the artwork I chose. So this Pokemon counts as a water type for my region, but also my flying type of the region. And I don't always look for that, but when I first was playing the games, I always took a bird. Now, for this region, I was never obsessed with Halo and Swellow, but I really did like Pelipper. I thought it was kind of quirky in a way that I feel like Natu and Xatu were for Johto. Yeah, I honestly love Pelipper, but I do end up taking a second water type, which before I get onto that, because it's not next, but I'm going to eventually end up disclosing this, all of my teams, I should have said this at the beginning, all of my teams, except for the exception of 2, we'll get to them later, so not all of my teams, have 10 Pokemon. The reasoning is I basically tell myself collect 10 throughout this entire region that you love. So when a new region comes out, I choose 10 from that region, specifically designs, typings, whatever it is that I love. So a lot of these regions I do have more than one typing. Some I think I even have 3 of that typing, but there's usually a reason to why I have it set that way. But I don't know why 10. It used to just be 7 because that was my lucky number. That still is my lucky number. But then I changed it to 10. I wanted it to be a little bit more even. In the current ZA, I have 12. So who knows what's next? Okay. So then we catch my Seedot. Okay, Seedot. Come on. This is honestly one of the grass Pokemon I got really excited about. In Kanto, I won't disclose what I took because I don't want to spoil it. I take kind of a really quirky grass Pokemon. In Johto, that's my starter. So in Hoenn, I feel like Seedot really became a new kind of design. And in the form of just being a seed into this next design, which is Nuzleaf, into his final design, which is Shiftry. And with Shiftry, I mean, come on. The shoe work, the fan work, the hair, the nose, they're everything. And Shiftry, obviously, when you think about Shiftry next to Blaziken, like, I mean, they're absolutely friends. I mean, come on. We have grass, we have fire. I love. All right, next is one I have to look for a hot minute, and you guys do the same. Ralts. Ralts, funny enough, can be caught in the same spot as Seedot and is really not too far from your main town. I mean, you're catching this girl at like 5 to 10 levels. I really like Ralts. Ralts evolves into Curlia, and she evolves into Gardevoir, and I know that card is stunning. Not all of them have a really cool design, but this one does. Gardevoir, I mean, do we need to get more into this? This is drag. This is absolutely a banger. Everyone has a Gardevoir. Everyone takes a Gardevoir, but she is an icon. Hatterene tried to come for her gig, and she could never. She's Gardevoir. I think that's always been a Pokemon I knew I would take, and Gardevoir is typically not one that comes out of my team. Usually I rotate these 10 around so that I have things I can take. Maybe it's weaker at the very beginning of the game, but I love it, so I can use it then and then deposit it later, or use it when I need it later too. Gardevoir and Blaziken, they almost like never come out. Okay, let's go over the ocean. And that's where I catch Aggron. Now, I feel like in the newer games, you couldn't get him as soon, but I knew in the older games, I just know you could because I feel like I did. Or maybe it's vice versa. We got Aggron, who evolves into Lairon. Sorry if I'm like looking over here at the card design too. Who evolves into Aggron. Oh, no. There you go. So, really sick Mon, really sick Steelmon. I think with me, I try to take a tank each region, and that tank doesn't always look like what you think it is. I feel like my tank for Paldea, for example, could be Cloth, but I think it's really Tinkleton. So for like this region, I knew it was going to be Aggron. Aggron can take hits, Aggron can dish out hits, and Mega Aggron is just a sick. So with a better defense as well. So I really, really, really like the Steel typing. It's one I take quite often. My favorite Pokemon is a Steel type. We'll get to that as well later. Not in this region though. So Steel is something I feel like nowadays I'm taking one on my team, but like every region. But my first Steel Pokemon being in Johto, and then this Steel Pokemon being in Hoenn, I feel like my love for them has only grown. You're gonna notice that as you see the other regions too. Okay, I always have a bug type. Always have a bug type. It's low-key, I think, my favorite typing, and for Hoenn, I do take Volbeat. Y'all might not be expecting that, but I do. I take, there's a couple different moves I take that are specifically on this one. He learns a bug move, which I think is Bug Buzz, and that's the one I usually take. He also learns Tail Glow, which raises his special attack, I do believe. So I take Bug Buzz, I think Psybeam, and I want to say like an electric move because he's a Firefly. I take that specific move set on him, and then when I use his signature move, it increases his special attack for all those other moves. He's actually really sick. Now I think that doesn't exist in the newer games. His Tail Glow. I don't think that it exists in the newer games, but honestly, shout out Volbeat, shout out Illumise. Give them a chance, guys. Okay, now I go back to get a water type. My Carvana, Sharpedo. Now, my Sharpedo, I really like sharks and I really like water types. Water types are like my second typing. So for this region, I love having a Quirkymon like Pelliper, but yes, I did choose Sharpedo as well. Sharpedo also has a Mega form. So for me, when I'm playing through, and I did this basically with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, when I'm playing through these regions, I'm taking both for different reasons. Pelliper, for example, I kind of use as a support mod in some ways, but also he's kind of there for when I know I need my backup, my stab, my things like that. But Sharpedo is really there for when I know I need a water type. I'm not just looking to him to be a water type as well. He's going to know an ice move, he knows his dark moves, so I'm going to get his own version of stab on him, but he hits a little bit different than Pelliper does. So I like having a juxtaposition in different ones, because then when I do play later, they're going to end up helping. There's going to be a time, and there are times where I take both Pelliper and Sharpedo because I just need the extra water weight. Anyways. Then we have Trapinch, who evolves into Vibrava, who evolves into Flygon, who we still have not gotten a Mega for. Flygon, I mean, come on. Get so into that design, are you kidding? Not only his design, I also think he's really a cool mon. Having a ground dragon that, of course, is different than what we had when you get Garchomp. Having this Pokemon that can learn fly, literally, dragon moves, ground moves, this was different because I feel like, well, I don't feel like, in Kanto, you had to wait forever. In Johto, you have to wait forever before you're going to touch a dragon typing. The fact Trapinch, Vibrava, Flygon gave you the opportunity to have some dragons a little sooner, this changed the game. And Flygon being one of, I think, a fan favorite design, I'm really surprised we have not seen Flygon Z, which I could have absolutely seen being made. a Mega Flygon in general. I'm surprised we haven't even seen a regional form of Flygon, to be honest. Because there's a lot of different things I feel like you can do with that. But what do I know? I did once make a hold on. This hair, by the way, is giving me like, it's kind of giving me mullet. Mullet girl. Mullet girl. Anyways, I feel like this region kind of set us up a lot better, I think, than playing through. Well, if we look at the past, that's literally true. Because we're set up a little bit easier than gold and silver. We're set up easier than red, white, and blue, red, yellow, and blue. Hoenn changed the game for that. It also changed the game, I feel like, for solo, like, no evolution Pokemon. The next one being Zangoose. I feel like the no Evos here were, like, stronger than they were Johto, Kanto. Like, Viper, Zangoose, unfortunately not cast form. I feel like there were so many, Absol, I feel like there are so many Pokemon released in this region that are, like, solo, even Mawile, that they don't have an evolution except for maybe a Mega, but yet they hit hard. I feel like Zangoose hit hard, and him being a normal typing, he can learn, obviously, an array of different moves. He's also Zangoose. My drag, or my name out of drag is Zach or Zesty. I go by both. And so the Z is very special to me. So Zangoose, hello. I knew I was going to end up taking him. The last one I take, and I should have also maybe explained this first as well, but I didn't. I take one legendary, one mystical, one Ultra Beast, one Paradox, all of that. I take only one of those. I allow one. And for this region, I do choose my mythical, and it is Deoxys. I mean, is there any other Pokemon I feel like that's more me than Deoxys? Deoxys is not only a really strong psychic type Pokemon, right? This is one of those Pokemon I don't get even until like the end of the story game. So I have to wait a while. Except I think in the new games you can, before you even beat the storyline, get Deoxys. It's one I know I have to wait for, right, at the very end, but this Pokemon really is not one that necessarily comes with me on my journeys. And that's the truth for the Ultra Beast. That's true for, well, I guess the Paradox form stayed with me. And then my Legendary I do get a little bit sooner. But a lot of these Pokemon I knew I wasn't going to be getting until the end if I chose to have a mythical, right? But I did end up wanting them. I don't really like to take them in the main game storyline because I find taking a Legendary is kind of corny, kind of cheaty, kind of... But I do think I would, in the Hoenn universe, I would probably have a connection with the Deoxys. So for me, I was like, I have to have one. I also have a little Speed Deoxys statue figure over here. And it is really cute. My partner just got me that for Christmas. So I love Deoxys. And that does basically conclude the team of 10. I really do like Hoenn, and I think that this region offers a lot. I think if you've never played Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, or Ruby and Sapphire, play those games. I mean, give them a shot. I think that there's a lot of fun to be had in them, and I think for a lot of us long-time Pokemon fans, we have a lot of favorites from this region. I'd even bother to say Hoenn is a lot of when people started to fall off for most Pokemon fans, I feel like. A lot of the people who I know who like Pokemon or might follow Pokemon, they really do only know the first 3 gens. And that's totally okay. I mean, people stop liking things, people move on from things, but it is nice to see Pokemon continually put out new regions and new Pokemon. Even if you don't love the designs, I don't want it to stop. Because I was a huge fan of Digimon as a kid, but I feel like it had a moment where it fell off, where it stopped making that like new exciting thing I was waiting for, whereas Pokemon always continued to innovate in a way. And so I've seen it come a long way since this region. I've seen some Pokemon I did not think I'd see. but I'm excited to see more. And now, honestly, in ZA, which I'll talk about in a different video, I do take a couple Pokemon from this region as well. In Kitakami, which I'll talk about later as well, I do take a Nose Pass, for example. In the new games, I take, or in ZA, I take Metagross, Sableye. I think that's it from Hoenn, but so I do get the chance to take a couple extra Hoenn Pokemon in my journeys, but this was my team of 10 for specifically the games. If you guys like this, please let me know. I know this is kind of quirky content where this is something I'm just really interested in, but I do want to show you guys the rest of the regions. I have a ton of videos for Pokemon in general. My cat's sleeping, it's so cute. So let me know if you guys want to see that too, but thank you guys if you guys have watched this far, and until the next video, see you guys.